What's going on, everybody, and thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the Athletes of Tomorrow podcast. Today I have the pleasure of hosting my brother, my guy, Bryce Moragne.
Yes, sir.
The one and the only. Just a little bit about Bryce. I don't even remember. How do we meet? Oh, Jimmy Jazz, right? Working at Jimmy Jazz in the mall. Great guy. Always been a positive guy. I don't remember last time. I don't think I've ever seen you mad before. A really cool guy, has a really good face on campus and reputation. One of the more notable basketball players. I understand, basketball isn't that popular here, but I would definitely say you were one of the faces of the recent years for the basketball team. But how has life been, man? I know you recently graduated, got some things going on. So tell us more about that. Like, what chapter are you at in your life right now?
Definitely, bro. Like right now, I'm in kind of that transformation stage. People talk about going from being a kid to an adult.
Right.
I really feel like making that jump from graduating from college to, you in that real world now,
Exactly.
corporate life. So I got me a nice job, working with a Fortune 500 company, real good company. And on top of that, I'm still getting my master's too.
Exactly.
So I've been doing that, graduating December. So everything ain't really been good, bro. Just been living life, like you said, I always stay positive and just going with the motion.
Exactly. So as a basketball guy, of course, I think the chances of going professional are significantly less because, of course, there's like significantly less players. But I know in basketball, there's also many other leagues and opportunities, whether that's overseas or even as, something local. I know you played in like a 303 tournament. So for you, once you graduated and once you closed that chapter of what you would call your final basketball game, how big of a pill was it to swallow, knowing like, okay, I'm not going to the NBA and I'm okay with that? Because truthfully, like that's everyone's end goal, especially when you play. So how big of a pill was that to swallow, and was it tough?
I mean, at first it really wasn't that bad. Like you said, I played in like a 3-on-3 tournament. That was a good experience. Like when I first finished playing, I was cool with it because I've been playing ball all my life, and then I finally get a chance to take a break. It was kind of cool. Like what a lot of people don't know is basketball, one of those sports, like it's just year round. So I never
off season.
Never got to go home for Thanksgiving. Like
never. Wow.
In 5 years, never got to go home for Thanksgiving. Christmas was only Christmas and Christmas Eve. That's it. So like being able to actually like go on vacation, do stuff. I was kind of glad to be able to do that. But after time kick in, like I said, get into the real world, that corporate life, it's like, dang, bro, like I really wish I could have played and then played in that little 3-on-3 tournament. I'm playing against like the top. It's like at least 5 or 6 top 100 guys, across the whole NCAA that are playing. I'm competing, I'm doing good, getting buckets. So in that moment, I'm like, dang, maybe if I went a little harder, you feel me, I could definitely make it to the league or something like that. But it's just a transition that we all got to go through in life. You go through different phases. So I mean, it's cool, bro.
With that tournament and playing in there, like, what would you say was like your biggest, takeaway? Because like you mentioned, you played against some great guys, and I'm sure, playing against them, maybe got a bucket on one and was like, if he can go, I can go. Because look what I just did to him. So, what was your biggest takeaway? Considering like you may not have, gone to that next level, although you did well.
Right. Really, my biggest takeaway, like for myself and just people coming up, would just be to go as hard as you can, like in the moment, because like after it's all said and done, you don't never want to be like, dang, bro, if I would have went a little harder.
Leave no doubt.
Like, basically leave no doubt. Is this on? Leave no
That's
doubt.
real.
You know what I'm saying?
Leave no doubt.
So like, that's really the biggest takeaway because going into the tournament, I'm not gonna cap. I was a little not nervous. I done played a big competition, like all my life, but just a little nervous a little bit. But once I got there, it was like I felt like I belonged. You know what I'm saying? And like even in life, I don't ever want to do something or think about doing something and just not be able to do it to my full potential. So leave no doubt in everything I do. And ever since then, I just really had that mindset, like, dang, if I really would have went a little bit harder, like my freshman, sophomore year, maybe.
Maybe if I'd do a little more, maybe how. So you talk about, you currently in school, like getting your master's and whatnot. So for the past like 4 or 5 years, there's been school basketball. So now I want to ask you, like, how was that transition, knowing like I have to get these grades, like, just because before sometimes it's like I got to get these because I know I got to be eligible to play, So how is it now on like school is your main priority, and after school it's like it's work. It's not basketball practice. It's not whatever with the guys. I'm in school getting a degree. So how has that been?
I mean, both my parents always been educators, so like school first was always like instilled in me, you know what I'm saying? So it was never, I mean, it was sometimes where I was like, I'm really just in school to just hoop, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it was always in the back of my head, like I already know that it's bigger than basketball, like I gotta have a backup plan or something like that. So now that everything all said and done, it's really just like second nature. Like I'm just trying to get to the bag, and I just know that at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, once I get this next degree under my belt, I'm in a pretty good situation, you know what I'm saying, for the rest of my life. So for all the people listening in, like you really want to set yourself up for the future, you know what I'm saying? Sports can only take you so far. Even people that's in the league right now, you know what I'm saying, you always gotta have a backup plan.
Yeah, exactly. It could be gone. Yeah, it could be all over tomorrow.
You feel me? So
exactly.
That's really the main thing. Just understand that I had to have a backup plan, and now that I got the plan in store, now I just gotta really just go through with it and just make sure I do everything that I can be successful in life. So.
And do you think you're done with basketball? Like, not as a playing aspect, but a lot of players go into coaching, recruiting, having their own little camps or whatnot. So is basketball seeing the end of Bryce?
Nah, definitely not. Basketball has been in my life so long, bro. I don't think I get rid of it, but honestly, I'm actually about to move back to Tampa, so I'm kind of manifesting it right now. But I'm trying to get a head coaching job back at my old high school.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I'm trying to.
That'll be what's up.
I ain't even put nothing in the work yet, but I just, you know what I'm saying. I kind of feel like I got the accolades, I got the track record. You know what I'm saying. I got to get a resume. I done hooped at the school. You know what I'm saying. I done hooped at the Division I level.
Right.
Educated, got 2 degrees.
Exactly.
So like, they can't really turn me down. You know, my name hold a little bit of weight in the city, so. I'm definitely manifesting that. I definitely want to coach some of the younger kids and be able to give back a little bit the way my coaches, you know what I'm saying, taught me things, taught me life lessons, and really give back.
I feel you. So, like you said, moving back to Tampa, that's originally where you from.
Facts.
The 813, that's what they call it, right? So, if you had to say, like, what role did being the kid from Tampa play in who you are? Because I know, like, for me, being from Miami, there's a lot of culture. So there's certain music, certain food that, make up who I am and who makes Trey. So being from Tampa, because, everyone knows, like, and recently that's been like the championship city with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Tampa Bay Rays, it's been like a winning city. But what is the culture like, and how has that groomed you into, who you are today?
I definitely say like the culture in Tampa is kind of a mix of all the cities. Like Tampa got a little bit of Miami, Broward, got a little bit of Jacksonville, got a little Orlando, even some Tallahassee. So like I kind of just feel like you talked about just that winning aspect. I feel like in Tampa, all the people that I associated myself with, and all the people I was around, like was just always trying to win, always trying to get to it. So I kind of feel like that's kind of what built me and made me into the person I am. Like seeing all the older cats like in the league and being successful with all their businesses and stuff. That kind of like just stuck in my head. Like, all right, these folks from my city doing big things, so like I kind of got to do the same. I ain't trying to, I'm not trying to be a person that like people just forget about. Like, oh, what's he up to?
Was it any weight on your shoulders? Like,
nah, I wouldn't even say weight.
You said you had a big name in your city, so I'm only like imagining like, what do you mean by that?
Like, by big name in my city, like when people bring up Tampa basketball in the past 4 or 5 years, my name is definitely mentioned.
Right. So my question is like, when you hear that and when you're aware that I have that type of name and reputation, there's a standard, because there's a standard with everything. So I'm saying, like, was it at any point did you feel like you had to live up to that standard? Because it's like, I'm known for this, so I need to perform to this level.
Nah, it was more so like, instead of it being a standard, it was kind of like I'm setting the standard.
Right, for yourself.
I'm setting the standard for myself and also for like the younger generation.
Right.
Even though it was a lot of people, going to the league and doing everything they had to do, I just felt like regardless of what I did, people was gonna be, happy at what I did.
Right,
and
exactly.
I was never gonna get like hate or criticism on whether if I made it far, if I did good, did bad. And that's one thing about my city. Like it's real love in my city. Like it's not that much crime, not that much going on.
Yeah, I know a few people from there. Cool people. Absolutely.
Everybody definitely cool. So that was really the main thing. Just doing what I had to do. You feel me? Just understanding that nobody wasn't gonna really like criticize me too much on whatever I did.
Exactly. And you spoke about your parents being educators. I'm not sure what the relationship, between you and your parents, but how much of an influence have they had on you, as a kid, whether if that was elementary, high school, and now college, and now, grad school? Like, what relationship and influence did they have on you?
Well, yeah, me and my parents, we always been cool. Like, they both, at one point, both of them were teachers. My dad, he kind of assistant principal now, so I was actually had a chance to, like, be in both their classes. So, like, they done taught me or whatever. But they had a big influence on my life. My dad, really specifically, only because he was kind of that dad that he just wanted the best for me. I mean,
Absolutely.
That's most dads.
Yeah, most
dads want
dads.
the best for their child. So it was a lot of times where, so I was messing up in the classroom or whatever, and he'll, take everything away from me, take basketball away from me, take my game, like, but at the end of the day, it was really just to prepare me for this moment, just build me up, and I'll never forget, I was, I forgot where my team was playing at. It was a big tournament, and my professor, or not my professor, it was like my teacher had emailed him at a time just saying like I had been acting up in class, my grades was bad, and he told me straight up I'm not going to the tournament. It was a big tournament too, so like, once that happened, I was really like, dang, like, this school is really important. He, he had that long conversation about, basketball can only take you so far.
Exactly.
It's really important to be in school. So that one situation kind of stuck with me, and that's kind of how I just been able to grow as a person and grow through school and grow through basketball and just kind of mature a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
it definitely groomed you into it, making a man.
Yeah.
And you talked about like basketball being taken away from you, and my aspect of football being taken away from me, and that's really like what athletes of tomorrow is about. I know a lot of people have what do you mean? Because at some point the reality is, and the harsh reality is, for football players, football is going to end. For basketball players, basketball is going to end. Baseball, soccer, so on and so forth. So it's all about that transitioning to the afterlife, right? And knowing that ball is only going to take you so far. What are you going to do tomorrow when that time comes? Like, because once it's all over, that doesn't mean like your life is over. You're still a person. Like, athletes aren't just athletes. They're more than that, and they have a lot of power if given the platform. So it's I'm really big on like people knowing what they have to do, when it's over, and it's really good to see that. Of course, your chapter has ended with basketball, and now you're moving on to another phase. But there isn't like a step, there isn't like a hesitation. You kind of know exactly what you want to do, and that's definitely like the end goal. Whatever athletes that we're referring to.
Yeah, at the end of the day, bro, you just gotta. I know we done heard it saying like, don't let the ball use you. Like, really use the ball.
Exactly.
And, like, I honestly say the game of basketball done helped me to meet a lot of people, like a lot of good people.
Crazy network.
Crazy, like a lot of good people. It kind of set me up even with my job. Like, a lot of people don't know, being an athlete, that really sets you apart, like in terms of job application, stuff like that. Just being like the employer seeing that you work with a team. And
exactly, that whole team aspect, knowing how to take a loss, knowing how to rebound, and getting things together, and being at the very bottom.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, of course, we're in Al Lawson, the famous Al Lawson. Now, there is a rumor. I wouldn't even say it's a rumor. I think it's very true. For some reason, when y'all at home, when FAMU is at home, of course, and Bragg, it's very hard to lose. How do you feel about that? Like, is it genuinely a different energy when you play here versus when you play somewhere else? And it's like a confidence thing. It's just like, for some reason, you just look up and we win. Like, how does that work? Because I promise you, every time y'all at home, like, don't bet against them at home.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't even say it's like us playing at home. I think it's just other teams playing here.
Right.
I feel like we've been to other schools. Even FAMU, it's all it's all about students, the culture and stuff like that. Our student section is crazy. Like, the stuff that our students.
Shout out to the student section. They definitely be going crazy.
They be on everybody's head. It's not that same energy at any other school. I think the only other school that was close to that might have been like Alabama State. But other than that, it's definitely not the same. So I just think personally, like, the fans really is what make the whole environment just different and make it hard for the opponents. But I think I don't really think we really get to. I mean, obviously we be a little hyped.
Yeah.
Playing at home, playing against
you waking up out of your bed, driving your car to your gym.
You see it. You know what I'm saying. You know for a fact there's people in the stands, like your classmates, your professors and stuff. You ain't trying to come out there and get
don't get embarrassed.
Yeah.
That's real. What went into your decision in choosing FAMU? Like, what would, coming out of high school, what were your options? What was your dream school? What was your dream school?
It's crazy.
And how did you end up here?
Man, so I love telling this story, bro. Like, whenever somebody asks me this, bro, I just love talking about the story. So a lot of people don't know. I don't even know if you know. I was a walk-on coming in. I don't know if you know that. You know?
Nah, I did.
So this is why I love telling the story, bro. So
that's crazy. To become the name and face that you had in the end, that's definitely crazy.
So this is a funny story. So not really funny, but so coming out of high school, like I said, my dad took basketball away from me. So my sophomore year, I mean, for people who don't know sports, you know what I'm saying, your sophomore and your junior year are kind of like the two biggest important times in terms of recruiting. You feel me? So you want to be on the floor. I was messing up in the classroom. My dad took my whole sophomore year of basketball away from me. I didn't play my whole sophomore year. So my junior year, I started getting a little bit more interest from, smaller schools, a couple D2 schools, a couple JUCOs. But my dad, he wasn't really too big on the JUCO aspect, like going JUCO and then going to another D1.
Right.
If I did that, I felt like I would have been at a bigger school. But we're not gonna talk about that. But yeah, pretty much I came to FAMU as a walk-on, just strictly coming for school. My parents wanted me to just get my degree, get out, get a good job. So I came in, and I don't know if you know Nas. You know Nas?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nas, he's from Tampa, and that was like my homeboy. We played on the same AU team, so he just had me in the gym a couple of times, and it got to a point to where my coach, who's actually right there, he came down one day and he was like, "Who are you?" And so I gave him a name, gave him a whole spiel, but the whole time my coach had been calling his phone, trying to get me on the team.
Right.
He had been ignoring it. And then he just told me straight up, "No, you can't be in here, you can't be in here." But I didn't let that stop me. So every day I just came back in. He had to tell me 3-4 times, like, "I told you, you can't be in here." And finally one day I came in, he didn't say anything. He just sat up in his office, saw me hooping. I played good. He told one of the players to come back down and get me, tell him to come up to his office. Came up. He was like, "I like how persistent you are and wanting to play on the team and things like that." And eventually he was like, "I'm gonna let you come on the team as a walk-on." He said, "Don't expect much. You're probably just gonna be a practice player, just be able to defend and help the team get better."
Right.
I said, "Okay, cool." But I didn't let that stop me. So each day, grinding. And then eventually by my sophomore year, I started my first game as a sophomore. By my junior year, I was a starter. And then that's when he put me on scholarship my junior year. So a lot of people don't know that story.
That's what's up. That's dope, man. Talk about persistence and just overcoming things.
Yeah.
That's unique. I definitely had no idea. Like I said, to look back at when you graduated, the name and face and reputation that you had, I don't think anyone would have guessed that you was a walk-on and you was getting kicked out the gym as a freshman.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't have thought that. That's kind of dope, man. That's unique. That's unique.
That's why I say, bro, you just gotta keep going, really, and whatever it is in life, bro, you keep going, because you never know the outcome.
Right, exactly. So I wanted to rewind and talk about something else that took place here in Lawson. You had a famous photo shoot with Woody McClain?
Yeah,
Woody McClain, and a few other students, my line brother, Elijah Rutland.
Yeah.
I forget the young ladies, the two young ladies' name as well. But what was that experience like? Because I'm not gonna lie, when I seen it, I was like, they did this in here?
Yeah.
And it was dope. I'm not gonna lie to you, especially like just looking from Instagram, knowing like you had that opportunity, and then for them to release like the behind the scene pictures and videos, it was like, that's kind of unique. So can you tell us more about that experience?
Well, yeah, so I actually, I don't know, Josh Padilla?
Yeah, I know Josh.
So
yeah.
Josh, he actually hit me up. He was just saying like, "Yeah, I got, I know somebody, they said they want to do like a photo shoot, a FAMU photo shoot." I'm just thinking it's just any regular FAMU photo shoot. I do a lot of, photo shoots, interviews, stuff like that. But then, so I got the message, and it's a group called League 22, and they actually do a lot of stuff like yard runners. I'm sure you see that, yard runners. In the photo shoot we did, and she hit me up and she was saying like, "Yeah, we're doing this big thing." And then once the names came out, I saw Woody. I said, "Hold on, I know his name."
Right.
But yeah, pretty much when I got here, it was pretty much just highlighting, FAMU, the Nike partnership, and they called us the Fam 5. So it's 5 of us, me, Elijah, Woody, Anissa Douglas. She was on the girls team.
Right.
I forgot the other girl's name who's with us. But it was a real good experience, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just being able to be a part of something that was so big, that partnership with LeBron is just crazy. And like me,
and you're a huge Bron fan.
I'm a
exactly.
Bron fan, so just being able to do that and put on a jersey that got his name on the back and got my school on the front, I was just like,
that's dope.
You feel me?
That's
so
dope.
It was a real good experience for the most part, and I was glad to be a part of it. Glad to meet Woody. A lot of people don't know I really got like a little side hustle or like a little side career in like acting too. Acting, so I was able to talk with him. He was able to drop a few gems, let me know what I need to do if I wanted to take that next step in acting. So it was a real good experience overall. So,
that's what's
like
up.
I said, bro, basketball, you meet a lot of good people, bro.
Exactly. Network is crazy. So before we wrap it up, I'm a football guy.
Yeah.
I'm a football guy myself. You're a Packers fan.
Come on, man.
You're from Tampa. Like,
you don't understand.
I don't get it. Just real quick before we done, tell me, how did you become a Packers fan and why?
So I used to play football back in the day. So, you know, they have like your little city teams or whatever. So the team I played for was actually like the Tampa Packers or the Town and Country Packers.
Oh my God! So his man thought he was a Packers.
So just growing up, you know, what I'm saying, I'm just trying to watch the team that I'm
right.
in Jersey.
Yeah.
I started watching Rodgers, and that's back when, or it wasn't Rodgers. That's back when he had Brett Favre, Donald Driver. Like,
Donald Driver. I remember those guys.
You feel me? So that's at the time I'm watching, and they were good too. So, but the Bucks were too. I was still like a Bucks fan, but you know what I'm saying, as I got older, you know, a lot of people just like start talking crap and stuff. So I wanted to be a little different. I ain't want to be the man who like just claimed Tampa. Of course, I'm playing Tampa, and I like the Bucks. I want to see them do good, but I just want to be different and just claim the Packers. So,
right.
Yeah. I mean, they the best team in the league. So
oh my God,
why would I not do that? Why would I not do that, man?
That's all we got for today, man. If y'all are too, then we appreciate y'all. If you watching on Instagram, just like and comment and share. YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Any other platform, just show some love with a like and a share. And if you can comment as well, we appreciate that. But that's all we have for today. Bryce, man, appreciate you.
You, brother.
You know what I'm saying? We wish you the best with all your future endeavors. And that's it, man. Y'all have a good one. Thank y'all for tuning in.